So Dad asked me to write something, and I asked him. I emailed back, and if there was anything in particular, and he sent me just a little story of early on when they were dating, and they were driving along, and a song was on the radio, and as my dad said, a standard song, and Anne started singing Counterpoint. And Dad just listened, and I'm sure a little bit amazed. And he said, then the song ended, and Anne ended, and in that moment, then he said he knew it was love. So I had to look up what counterpoint was, of course. And the definition, thanks again, Google, was, I thought the definition was, poetically apropos also. In its most general aspect, counterpoint involves the writing of musical lines that sound very different and move independently from each other, but sound harmonious when played simultaneously. So I think it was, one of the things as I was working on this little poem is just kind of getting that my dad and Anne, they had this beautiful harmonious counterpoint relationship in their similarities and their slight differences. People sometimes ask me to write, and I always say yes, and then I kind of figure it out. And so in this case I did that, and just Wednesday night I was sitting at home, and I started just working on it, and I literally just sat in tears for 45 minutes, writing and just feeling everything. And I wrote it from Dad. It's like from Dad to Anne. And last night, it was, it's a poem. It's not real exactly, but last night Dad was sharing with us some of his thoughts and memories, and I heard almost everything that I put in the poem somehow reflected in his stories. I also had to use my poetic license a few times, and so there's at least one near miss rhyme and some other. And if I've misused a musical term, sue me. So, let's see, is there anything else? So, this is from my dad to Anne. I've asked my son to write because he knows how to say what I'd compose. I could play all my memories, but I'd use piano keys. And while I know you, Anne, would understand, today I'm going to rely on Dan. These are all things I've said before, but now again to say once more a little of what you've meant to me as you leave us here in this mystery. I remember the time driving along, the radio played a standard song, and you sang counterpoint. I drove and listened and felt amazed, and I admit a little dazed. My heart had reached that point. We started a life together, all out and in, you, me, the kids, and Madeline. We worked, arranged, taught, and played. We traveled and so often stayed at home and listened deeply to music that was just as much in me as you. Sometimes I wonder how deep it goes, the arching vibrations that we compose. What I heard in a passage, you heard too. Just a glance or nod was all I had to do. And I'd know you understood. Simply, in your reflection, I felt good. Sometimes as if you were another part of me. Where I'd brood, you'd know my mood. You saw the depth of me that few have seen, and you could reach me with collard greens. That was the nearer rhyme. And the poem's almost over, so don't worry. I'll remember London, Vienna, Prague. I'll remember you with a little dog. So now a song has ended into a deeper silence than we've known. But I still hear the counterpoint in love's deep overtone. Thank you.